Today we're taking a look at Fender Custom Shop picks and other rare picks from the 1990s onward. Now, there are not a lot of them, but I'll show you which I consider the rarest and most desirable to have. And many of them are not from the vintage era, but the ones we're going to see first are. I got these directly from John Page when I visited the Fender Museum back in the 1990s. Street address, as you can see, was on Main Street. Now, he was also in charge of the custom shop. So some vice president of the custom shop there. That's his signature pick with the rare custom shop logo. And here's two other picks from senior master guitar builders. And the name Mark Kendrick is significant because even though it shows a Enterprise Court Street address, I actually met Mark on Pomona Road by accident. I showed up at this warehouse because it showed a music store. It wound up being the actual custom shop where they made Fender guitars. I talked to Mark, told him what I was doing as a collector. He said, hold on. He went back and he got me all the signature picks of their master builders and senior master builders from right there on Pomona Road in Corona, California. So these are considerably rare because they're signature picks from the builders. And we even see a couple over here from Artist Relations, Alex Perez, and Mark Duncan, sales rep. 1990s. Now, the first custom shop logo continued. It started out in the 1990s, and these are from that era as well. The abalone with a nice, crisp gold print. And those ones just strewn about here are just the same shapes in different gauges. As you can see, Fender was using, or started using the spaghetti logo again in the 90s. And moving up here, we have some anniversary picks from 1996. I consider those collectible. They were only issued in that year. We're going to take a look over here at a series from 1999. It was only made in medium and heavy gauge. And this series shows a traditional 330 shape from the 1930s. Fender did not use that beyond the 1930s except to make these picks. And we have a traditional 347 or Les Paul shape. Coming down here is a shrunken version of the 351 that they labeled as a 451. Here's a shape they never produced except for this series. To label it the 551. Of course, there was no 551 or 400, no 400 or 500 series picks exclusively made for that particular collection of picks from 1990s. We'll go up here and see from picks from the 2000s that I consider rare, and there are very few of them actually. There's a Fender 60th anniversary, a couple of Christmas picks. That custom shop right there in black actually has Mojo Oil logo on it, Fender acoustics, some of the more modern custom shop picks from 2007. And they start producing the California series around 1999. And they initially produced it with that California series logo. Some more Fender custom shops right there. And this group below it were actually Korean-made picks that I got from a man who owned a store here in California, who was from Korea. He opened a music store up here. Can you continue to buy merchandise from Korea to sell here? And that included some of these picks you see. Can't buy them anywhere else except at his store in Garden Grove. I don't even know if he's in business anymore. If you want to call and find out, I don't know the name of the store. I long forgot. I haven't been there for a while. But it is in Garden Grove. Here is a series of custom-made display cards. And this is one of the few times I actually made display cards featuring real vintage Fender picks. If you see the YAR on them, 1980s. No registered trademark, like these, 1960s. I produced a little over 100 of these, almost every single one different from the other. And this was actually the first or crude version right there. Some of that is done by hand, some of those letterings. The rest of this was actually done in Microsoft Excel program. I didn't even use a program specifically designed for graphic arts. But I've sold many of these and still have them available. Contact me, finepick7@yahoo.com. They run about $30 each. But they will include real vintage Fender picks and a completely unique display. A few of the displays I did more than one version, sometimes two, rarely three. But there weren't many. And this right here was one of my favorites because it matched so well as that one. I tried to use all the different shapes that Fender was producing at that time. But I didn't use the 355, and I actually sold all those cards that had the large triangle-shaped 355. I'm kind of glad I did, because someone has something so exclusive that me, the maker and creator, does not even have. So there you have it. Rare Fender picks from the 1990s onward. There certainly aren't a lot of most of what comes out of Fender now. Chinese produced, mass produced, real poor logos in terms of not having a high foil content in the print, and I just don't consider them worth collecting whatsoever. Thanks for joining me. There's a wide angle shot. I hope I haven't forgotten anything here. It looks like I pretty much covered them all. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.